My name is Joshua Mardell and I oversee the architecture specialism on the MRes. I recently completed a major edited book on queer spaces, and it really charts spaces, we might say ecosystems, that have been essential over about the last 250 years for queer people to find safety, community, self-expression, even self-love. And this is part of a much wider body of work that's trying to arrive at a richer, more holistic, certainly fairer understanding of the past, and nurturing, in that case, a kind of much more open, more inclusive architecture that services everyone. And this drive for inclusion, for, if you like, a more democratic architectural discourse, was also a theme that preoccupied the architectural historian Gavin Stamp. And I currently have an exhibition on his work showing at the Paul Mellon Centre for Studies in British Art in Bloomsbury, which is part of Yale University, where I'm currently a Library and Archives Fellow. Gavin Stamp was so many things. He was a broadcaster, he was a satirical journalist, he was a conservation activist, he was a graphic artist, but he was just such a powerful figure. He had unusual reach for an architectural historian. I think most memorably when one thinks of Gavin Stamp, one thinks of telephone boxes. During Thatcher's administration, British Telecom became privatised, and they wanted to more or less demolish whole-scale all of the red telephone boxes that are so iconic in London that we all know. And he set out with his organisation called the 30 Society to try and statutory list to save these kiosks for posterity. It was all about architecture for the public good to Gavin. He used all sorts of different platforms to, if you like, mediate his causes. But his big project was kind of about trying to stand up to what he called uglification. He believed in a physically beautiful world, and he believed in the power of architecture to ameliorate, to improve our life on Earth. It was important in an exhibition to choose objects that have a certain vitality about them. And so that was the approach to the actual display, was, okay, which objects say a lot very quickly, which singular objects communicate a set of ideas, a set of paths, a set of traditions in Gavin Stamp's work. And there's a marvelous portrait from 1978 of Gavin by the pop fogey artist Glyn Boyd Hart that I really enjoyed being able to put into the show as well. I think what drew me to Gavin Stamp's work is I'm really interested in alternative forms of architectural criticism. Stamp was a pioneer of doing that, so I was very drawn to him, but also because he really knew how to use language as a campaigning tool. And I think he's a great model of doing particularly kind of descriptive criticism. He was just a phenomenally good writer, and I kind of wanted to honor that tradition that otherwise we're losing.